All right, so what's up, guys? Welcome back to Late Night Shots, episode 40. Today, we're joined here by a special guest. We got fifth place finisher at Senior Nationals and former UNC wrestler Danny Chade.
How's it going? Nice being with you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you too here. I think you're a guy that was requested by a lot of people. Didn't have the most known college career or anything. Then a lot of people were shocked by you with your fifth place finish at Senior Nationals. With some pretty good wins there, obviously. So
For sure.
yeah. So obviously, I think my favorite matches. You obviously had a great match with Trent Hilger. Obviously, didn't coming on top there, but you're set up right for the rematch, which didn't happen for unknown reasons. But
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking forward to maybe wrestling him again. Kind of didn't happen. Fell through a little bit with that. The Wisconsin RTC thing. He ended up getting exposed to COVID, so he had to back out. But it might happen December 15th. So hopefully looking forward to that. Of course, everything is. It's extenuating circumstances with everything that's going on right now. So just being able to go out and, get a match and wrestle is always, exciting and, just something I'm looking forward to.
yeah, of course. But so after Trent Hilger dropped out, you got your match with Pete Christensen. Obviously a younger guy compared to Trent. But, it's pretty dominant performance right there. You led 4 points pretty early, came back to 14 points unanswered. So how do you feel about your performance in general?
It was, it was fun actually. That kid was strong, man. He came out and he fired off a shot right away, and he popped me up and lifted me, and I really wasn't expecting that. So he kind of caught me off guard. It was just a lot. I hadn't wrestled like a dual meet style match in a little while, so I was kind of trying to get myself ready for that coming in. I'd been traveling a lot beforehand. I was coaching the whole week before out in Tulsa Kickoff Classic, and I flew from California to Oklahoma, coached for like 3 to 4 days. Then I flew from Tulsa out to Wisconsin, and then wrestled the match the next day. And I don't know that the kid that I wrestled, Christensen, he's a really tough kid for sure. And I think he wrestled 97 last year. I think he was a starter at 97 for Wisconsin last year. And, he had a pretty good season. Still young kid, but he came out, he came after me and put up some points. Definitely surprised me a little bit. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but he popped off that shot. And then I was in on a shot, and he rolled me through on a crotch lift. And, I've been training a lot. I've been really lucky to be able to have a pretty good training situation with, in the midst of COVID, and, some of the kids that I train and the wrestling club that I work with out here has a really good setup. So I've been able to, keep working with McCoy and some of the Stanford, California RTC guys while, a lot of other places are closed down. And so I think that really helped me in, this match. I feel like I'm in good shape, and it was kind of the pace that, let me pull away in that match for sure. He came out strong. And I think, I just, very workmanlike kind of, I kind of beat him later.
Yeah. So before the match, I get word on a lot of things, just because people like to tell me things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it happens. So guys were already saying, Hilger might not be wrestling because a lot of people from Wisconsin follow me. But then they were also saying that the spot may be filled by Braxton Amos.
Oh.
I think that would have been, a really interesting match. Obviously we saw a couple of those, a lot of these insanely young, talented studs versus like the old veterans, right? We had I think in the Nittany Line wrestling card, if you watched any replays of that, you had Carter Sirachi versus Chance Marsteller,
Mm-hmm.
which is an amazing match. Two Pennsylvania guys going at it. But yeah, how do you think you would match up against a younger guy, insanely technically sound? He's not one of those athletic freaks.
But, with Amos,
yeah.
I think I pick myself in any match. I don't really, whoever I'm wrestling, I'm always going to bet on myself. I don't, I know who Braxton is. I'm kind of in a weird place with wrestling. I think it's funny that, it's shit, I'm like 26 now,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily consider myself like a savvy vet at all or anything like that. But a couple of years post college, and I know who Braxton is just because he's one of the top guys out of he's like one in the country out of high school.
So he went, I think, 172-0 in high school. Never
Oh,
let up a
geez.
single offensive point in the focus out match.
Oh, wow. That would have been,
He let up a
a really
couple
good match.
in freestyle.
Tough kid for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might have let up a couple in freestyle against guys like Greg Kirkfleet, Gabriel
Okay.
Stevenson. I think he still won those matches too.
Huh. So he's definitely a tough guy.
Yeah.
I never watched him wrestle. I probably should. Maybe I'll go watch him wrestle after this interview. But definitely impressive stuff. I don't know. I would wrestle him. I mean, I'd wrestle anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. I'm just looking to wrestle at this point. I like it. I'm getting older. Can't wrestle forever. So, want to get on the mat as much as I can while I still can. And yeah, I mean, and I can't speak on Braxton too much. If he was the guy they put out there against me, I'm just going to bet on myself because I believe in myself. But, I don't know. Maybe I think I might go out there on the 15th again. I would wrestle him. I'd wrestle, I'd wrestle Hilger again.
Yeah.
It's, whoever they put out there against me, I'm willing to wrestle.
Yeah. So, no, yeah, it's great. But, obviously the main event of the Wisconsin RTC card was Seth Gross versus Bryce Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you have coming out on top at first? Because I'm going to be honest, I did have Bryce Meredith.
When they wrestled in college, Bryce won that, correct? Yeah. So I probably pick Bryce. That was a great match. I remember watching that, kind of being in the bleachers, and there wasn't a crowd there. The crowd was really just, the wrestlers and the organizers of the event. I was like, man, I'm really lucky to be, sitting front row for such a high level match.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like they're just wrestling for like 10 of us. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. What, what high level wrestling to get to witness, up close. And I think, Seth wrestled really, really good and, was able to get that win. I think Bryce is transitioning more to MMA right now. I have no idea how much he's wrestling, but I know he's out in Arizona getting ready to, start a fighting career. And I think Bryce will be, he'll be a great fighter when he transitions over.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course he will. But I think that was mainly because in college, obviously Gross was at 133. He bumped up to 40 to wrestle Bryce Meredith. But I'm pretty sure now Bryce had to cut down a little bit, probably impacted a lot of stuff later towards the match. But, you can't really use that as an excuse right now. But
For sure.
It is right there. But, obviously a lot of people don't really pay attention to women's wrestling, which is kind of sad right now. But I think one of my favorite matches from this was actually Sarah Hildebrandt in her match. Probably one of the most dominant performances I didn't expect.
For sure. Alyssa Lampy is really, really, really tough. And so Sarah just coming out, she kind of, blew through her a little bit. I'm totally on board with that. I am a huge advocate for women's wrestling. And I think in the future, women's wrestling absolutely has the potential to be the saving grace for men's wrestling, especially when it pertains to Title IX. And I think just having more wrestlers, men or women, is just great for the sport. More people that, are able to enjoy the sport of wrestling is a beautiful thing. And I mean, just back to Sarah Hildebrandt, she's a phenomenal wrestler and, one of the best in the world, of course, if not, the best in the world for her weight class. She, she put on a really dominant performance, which was, I think I picked her to win, but the way in which she won, which was so dominant over another just fantastic wrestler, which is Alyssa Lampy, was definitely like surprising to see. She wrestled great. She's so tough. It was yeah.
Her ability, honestly, to make parterre offense out of that match. You know, it was pretty incredible right there. So I didn't really expect a lot of that. Kind of expected
For
maybe
sure.
like 1 or 2 takedowns for her. Obviously, I had her coming out on top.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
I think this happens with a lot of guys, obviously, but you know, I think the biggest one, you know, as a heavyweight, Gable Steveson, you know, they'll pick him over anybody in the world just because he has more followers, more clout than anybody, if you will. You know,
Hmm.
the same thing with these guys. Just like you know, obviously Spencer Lee, you know, not the best guy in the world, but anybody will take him over him just because of what he's done so far.
For
Rumble,
sure.
you know, hasn't won a national title yet, hasn't won a Big Ten title yet. They'll pick him pretty much over anybody just because he's that much of a public figure for the community.
Yep.
And that, I mean, that's a good thing in general because, you know, obviously those guys, they're good role models. They like to promote the sport. But at the end of the day, it's just going to, you know, you got to have a sense of reality to an extent.
Hmm.
Okay. Because I remember I put up a poll, you know, Taha Agul from Turkey, defending Olympic champion, versus Gable Steveson.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me to do it. The results of the poll were 90 votes for Taha and 700 for Gable.
Really. So
Yeah.
people, I think I did see that. You know, I would imagine. It is interesting. I don't know how many Americans really pay attention to like Taha Ghul or like, like Petrashvili or, guys like that. So, and I'm not taking anything away from Gable.
Yeah.
Gable's like absolutely phenomenal. Those guys are very seasoned, they're, they're both, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but they've both won the worlds
I
multiple
think
times.
Taha won 9,
9.
and then what's his name? Petri actually
Petrashvili.
beat Taha for his third.
Okay.
Actually, I can check this right now because I'm pretty sure it's in Taha's bio.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Those guys are very, yeah, like really, really
Okay,
accomplished.
2-time world champion, 7-time European champion, so 9 medals combined.
That's
And
crazy.
then Petri actually did beat him 6-6 on criteria with the last second takedown.
Was that in the Olympics?
That was in the World Championships. Taha won the Olympics, and
Okay.
what was it? Petri actually teched Terval Dlagnev for the bronze medal.
Gotcha.
And then I'm not sure who came second, but yeah.
I can't off the top. I've watched those matches, but I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, there were some good matches. You know, obviously they're not as flurry based because,
Hmm.
especially with freestyle wrestling guys that grow up in freestyle wrestling, the more flurries you get into, the more easier it is to expose yourself for points.
For sure.
So, but you know, again, are you big into like international wrestling, watching these guys? Or
I definitely pay attention. I watch, I'll watch replays of the World Championships, and I follow it relatively close. I know who the top guys are,
yeah,
respectively. At probably most, like every weight class. I don't go super deep down the ladder as far as knowing like everybody, but I'm definitely aware of what's going on.
yeah. You know, obviously I know who Taha Ghul and Gino Petri actually are, just because
Hmm.
I gotta have some knowledge before posting stuff that I do. But yeah, no, I've tried to look a little bit more into it. Obviously, try to find like other matches because you know, obviously, I post those TikTok highlight reels.
Yeah, yeah,
Guys, there's only so much matches that happen when wrestling's not going on. So you know, you kind of get burned out. You try to find matches from like a long, long time ago, and I'm out here
hmm,
just going through like the 2000 Olympics and stuff like that.
nice. Yeah, no, there's a lot of great. I try and watch a lot of older wrestling, and I kind of grew up. My dad wrestled in the '80s and stuff, and he's got all this home footage of like when they would go on tours to over to like Russia and stuff. So I have all this old stock footage of really high level like like old Dave and Mark Schultz footage and stuff like that, like Bruce Bumgardner in the '80s and '90s, like home films of that kind of stuff. So I grew up wrestling that, and I'm very aware of like I would say if I went back and looked at an era, probably like the mid 2000s is probably what I don't recognize like the most with the international guys, but the guys in the '80s and the '90s, like like the Valentin Jordanovs and like the Sanisaro Ganetians and those kind of wrestlers. I would say I understand like the history of that pretty well, and I follow that a lot.
I think 2004, you know, 2008, those are two like obviously lower years. You know, In 2000, obviously he had the whole Rulon Gardner match, which,
Mm-hmm.
people kind of confuse like Rulon. Obviously Bruce Baumgartner has more medals, more titles, and everything like that. But it's kind of like Rulon Gardner's legacy is always going to surpass that, just because the caliber of his win right there.
Yep.
You prevented the first ever 4-time Olympic champion, and that's like no matter how you did it. People always want to say he lost off of points, but then
Mm-hmm.
when somebody else does, they want to make excuses for him. And then you're making
Yep.
excuses for a 3-time Olympic champion right there, and I don't know how
Yeah.
really well that's going to fall there. So,
No, absolutely.
what are your opinions on that match? I know a lot of people have mixed opinions, but at the end of the day, pretty much every high-level wrestler I've talked to is pretty much on Rulon's side here.
On the Rulon Krillin match.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
You got me. I don't. It was like a 1-point match. Krillin, they went into. The rules were kind of weird. I'm not exactly what the rules were then. I know they had to do that body lock, and
so they're in the body lock, right? And Krillin did release to regrip, and that's against the rules. So he broke. It's called fleeing the hold, right?
Yep.
That was a rule for a while. I don't think that's a rule like that should be broken. Obviously you're trying to get out of the move right there. So he was awarded a point there. And at the time, I think if Krillin tried to protest it, that might have been a different thing. But he just kind of looked at the ref. He shrugged off. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this kid anyway." And
I think that's yeah. I mean, given the rule set, what's his name? What? Yeah. Rulon won straight up. So I don't think it was like the most exciting match, but I think that just the caliber of the stakes and everything that was happening and the way that, like the folklore surrounding Krillin with like how dominant he was during his reign, winning, what was it, like 11 or something world straight. Like he
won 788 matches straight.
Yeah. And so, he's not losing to anybody to lose his very last match to Rulon, who, had very interesting circumstances, like pertaining his life. I don't know. It's an impressive win.
Yeah, I know. You see this with like a couple guys, obviously. I think, obviously Spencer Lee can't be put in this situation. Torn ACL, barely lost his match, but I think it was Dan Gable who lost his last ever collegiate match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, obviously.
Yeah, Larry Owens.
Once you got the first one, second one, third one, kind of cruising, I would assume. And then the last one, you probably have a little bit of like, it's always like, what if I don't do it? What if, like, this is my last match? Like, what if I mess it up? I'll never get this back. And that just causes guys to be like a little more defensive. And then, you make one mistake.
For sure.
Be over right there. But
it is, yeah.
So did you watch like any of the Ninny Line wrestling card event or?
I did actually. I went home. Like after I got done with the Wisconsin one, I went back and I still had time to watch it. There were a lot of people. I watched that Marsteller Connor.
Carter.
How do you even pronounce?
Carter Starachi.
Starachi. And I thought that was a great match. I thought Marsteller actually looked pretty good. It was kind of like apparent that he got a little winded. And then I really liked like the New Jersey RTC guys. So I watched them pretty close. Reese Humphrey is always pulling for Reese. He kind of didn't have the best match against Zane.
I mean, yeah, he did. Yeah. The thing I respect about that, a lot of guys will try to just come out there. Reese came out there trying to promote himself against the best of the best.
For sure.
I love the matches where like he's not going to be a guy that's all passive. Like he's pure violence, even against the best guy in the U.S. right now at that weight class. And that's just great to see.
No, absolutely, yeah. And what Reese does is so great for the sport. He's great at promoting himself in the sport, and he's a really charismatic guy with a lot of personality, and he's putting it on the line after being retired for like, what did he retire in 2016? So for 4 years, and he's a full-time coach, and I know he still works out, but it's it's different. So it is really it's super admirable that he would that put it on the line. And then
one of the matches I was looking forward to, I forgot to mention this, Joe Zargo also. I think he was a freshman too. I mean, he wrestled in high school, like I think like 10, 15 minutes away from me before he transferred to
Okay.
Bergen Catholic. So and then he came out of Texas doing like 20 seconds. So it's like,
Was that out in Wisconsin?
yeah, it was. He was
Yeah,
wearing the Bergen Catholic singlet.
okay. Was that the match? It was one or two. I think it was right before mine.
You know, honestly, I don't know. I was there. I went to go make coffee, and like 20 seconds
Okay.
later, it was done. So I watched the
Yeah,
replay.
I remember watching that. That was a fast one.
Yeah,
There were a lot of and then the Nittany Lion one. There were a lot of great matches.
yeah,
I'm real good friends with Boris Novachkov.
yeah. I had
So
him,
watch
but
what?
I had him up. I had him getting revenge in that match from the Olympics. So
Yeah, I was texting him afterwards, and I think he said he's 5-0 against him now against Franklin, or 0-5 against
yeah,
Franklin. And I go, well, there's no chance he could beat you 6 times. It's impossible. There's no way he'll beat you six times now.
yeah,
But yeah, Boris is a beast. I think he started getting back into training. He just went back.
yeah.
He was out in California for a little bit training with us, and we were actually, he was living with us a little bit over the summer, and then he's back out in New Jersey. And I think once he kind of gets his feet under him and he's training on maybe like a more regular basis, he's going to be his knowledge of wrestling is really really out there. He's so smart when it comes to just technique and everything.
So something, I obviously try to preach a lot is, again, guys traveling all the way from like across the world at this point, again, Novachkov from I'm not sure which country. That's why I didn't look into that. But I looked a little bit of his match before the thing. I'd like to do with a lot of these foreign guys. You have Vladimir Konchakishvili from Georgia, defending champion. He had a criteria win with Yanni, and he lost to Jaden Ironman. But at the end of the day, you realize they're traveling across the country, and a lot of factors affect that. This is kind of the same reason you see like a lot of the guys from the U.S. don't really perform the best at these world championships.
Do you think because of the travel or just the exposure?
Obviously, that has like an impact on it,
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like, I think obviously guys like Thomas Gilman not placing at Worlds, that shouldn't happen. Adam Kuhn 100% should have placed in that Greco bracket.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think there's 2 guys in the world that can beat him. That Riza Kalyep dude from Turkey, I think it is.
Okay.
And then, Jean Lopez Nunez from Cuba is just teching whoever in the world he wants. But
yep.
Yeah. So I think that definitely does have a factor, I think if Vladimir Konchakishvili or Bajrang Punia from, beat the streets last year, I think if Bajrang wrestles Yanni, I don't think it's really close. And say if Yanni were to travel to India to wrestle him, it's not a close match. I'm going to be a little bit biased there, but same thing with Konchakishvili, I don't think he loses to Ironman if he's wrestling in Georgia.
Well, check it. I think he lives out here right now. I think he lives out in New York City. He trains with the New York RTC a lot.
Yeah,
he might
just came in. He came in there, I was told.
Okay.
So obviously it's a new environment.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, it wasn't Carver Hawkeye. It was that Extreme Arena that was in it was actually where they had the senior nationals. And it's a great arena, but Ironman's a Hawkeye and he's wrestling in front of an Iowa crowd, and I think that's always going to play to his advantage. I never wrestled at Carver Hawkeye or in front of the Iowa crowd, but you see a lot of guys that definitely win matches against people that they're better than.
I love Jaden Ironman. I would have picked him over Yanni to win 141. Unless Sebastian Rivera was there, from Jersey. So obviously my pick's Rivera right there, but I don't see any way in hell that that he beats Konchakishvili again, to be completely honest.
I don't. Yeah, who we'll see. I think Chekishvili, Vladimir is really really good. So beating him twice would be tough. I definitely don't want to knock Jaden though.
Yeah,
that would be. Yeah, that would be. That's a tough match to win twice.
Yeah.
For sure. So we'll that'll be a fun. Who knows if they'll ever wrestle again? I wonder what circumstances would have to.
I think Ironman would obviously have to make an Olympic team.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier said than done at this weight.
Absolutely. How do you think Ironman will do if they have an NCAA tournament?
I think he takes your second or third. I think he takes
To
third.
Yanni?
I think
To who?
I like Rivera to take first, obviously, because I'm from Jersey.
Okay. Yep.
But you know,
Is Rivera going 41s for Rutgers?
yeah, he is, and then Alvarez is
Huh.
going 33. Soriano's probably going 25.
Gotcha. That's a big cut for Soriano.
Yeah, I mean, dude has like no regard for his own safety when doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Dude can be straight up like push himself to like a 0.1% body fat, and like he'll just be completely fine, just keep going.
That's great. Yeah. He's a beast. They're so tough.
The problem
Good
is I
elk.
don't know how competitive he's going to be at 125, but who am I to tell him to cut weight? He's a heavyweight, so
Yep.
yeah,
No, absolutely. Yeah, damn, that Rutgers team's going to be tough.
yeah,
Goodell does a really good job.
yeah. And obviously with Boone McDermott, JUCO national champ coming in heavyweight.
Is that who they're going to have at heavyweight?
I think most likely,
Okay.
obviously they have Alex Esposito, plays seventh in the state. Kids come a long way. And then they have
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Estevez coming in. Kid already hates me, so.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Our first match our senior year, and then I lat dropped him. I called my shots. I was going to lat drop to his back when he tries to go for the knee pick. And then I put him on his back.
Did you pin him?
No, it didn't turn out so well. He was ranked like third in the state, and he was ranked second.
Oh,
in the
wow.
state. And I was like unranked. And then this dude got so mad, just like I tried to lat drop him again, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a complete outmatch at that point. I'm a kid.
What high school was he at?
He was at Franklin. You don't know, probably don't know what that is.
I know a couple Jersey schools, but not a ton. I know
know who Ralph
obviously.
Normandia is?
I don't know.
Nah, the old heavyweight for Rutgers. Yeah, no.
We dueled Rutgers once at Chapel Hill.
If you know who he plays fourth in the state this year, so obviously.
Okay.
So he was a 2 seed. He ended up losing to the 7 seed, who was like a Division I football player, like 6'5",
really?
230. Dude was just riding legs the entire time. And then the freshman Jimmy Mullen ended up winning it.
The state tournament?
Yeah, no, he's
wow.
He was like insanely good. He's ranked he should be like third in the country right now, I think.
Oh wow.
Sophomore year. Winning a New Jersey state title, obviously because of COVID and no state tournament, that's gonna suck because he can't be like the third. I think could be the fourth ever, 4-time state champ in Jersey, the first ever heavyweight state champ.
Who are the is it Suriano and Ashnall are the 4-timers?
Suriano and Ashnall are the 4-time undefeated guys.
Okay.
Ashnall came first, and then Suriano 2016.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one high school I know pretty well in New Jersey is Southeast Plainfield.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little bit biased again. Anthony Ashnall wrestled in my conference, got to meet him a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, their school dominates our conference every year. Like they're good. I think they actually lost last year because
they did?
Other schools are getting more competitive. They have obviously one stud. I think is Anthony White. He's just committed to Rutgers recently.
Okay.
Third Super 32, pretty solid showing. But I think obviously the future for New Jersey is bright, and yeah. So I think we didn't talk about your college career a lot. This is my bad, but
Oh, no worries.
College career, I will take this after you went to, you're at. We'll start at Oklahoma. So at Oklahoma, I'm assuming you probably wrestled something a little bit lighter than 97, or were you still at 97?
I wrestled 84 my freshman year. I only wrestled one season for them and started. I wrestled 84s. That was my freshman year. It was a terrible decision. Just cut way too much weight. It was a lot. It was it's a very big weight cut. Very very taxing. I like this. It just did. My season didn't end up the way I really wanted, and I was kind of in a little bit over my head as far as what I signed myself up for.
Yeah.
But
I think Jacob
what?
Actually told me the same thing, right? I think the first year he was making 184. The next year he was trying to move to 90s. He made 84 again next year.
Mm-hmm.
After the red shirt, so it's like his third year there. He's like to the coach, like, "Oh, can I move to 97?" When he's weighing like 213.
Mm-hmm.
Coach got like if you make 84 again, so dude would cut from 213 to 184 every single week.
Oh, geez.
And then they had to make him this drink to drink after weighing, so he wouldn't get himself to the point where if you eat too much after you cut weight and just gets
Yep.
all messed up there. They would make him like this like drink filled with like sugar and like honey and just like a bunch of chemicals and everything. Like you'd have to drink after he weighs in, and it was just like awful for him.
That's crazy.
But then dude made the move to heavyweight and it was an absolute tank. So I mean, it's a good trade off right there. So.
Yeah, I remember watching Jacob wrestle a lot.
Yeah.
He was dude. He's just a ballsy wrestler. He wasn't a huge heavyweight. Yeah, he would be launching dudes.
He had a Chrome's flare during the national tournament his senior year. So he was saying he just straight up went for lefty headlocks on everybody after it happened. So ended up pinning Stoll. And got stuck by Desi. Obviously, I doubt Desi's going to fall for that lap drop. No, you got to go for it sometimes. I'd rather go big knowing there's a chance at winning than play conservative and know I can't win. So,
yep.
Yeah, so you made the transfer to UNC after your sophomore year. What kind of impacted you to do that?
It was just a lot of stuff. Leaving OU was kind of it was one of those things. It was probably just like the best decision for me at the time. And then the decision to go to North Carolina was I don't know. It was a pretty easy decision. North Carolina is awesome. It's a great college town. Coleman's sweet.
Okay. So this is how you know South Plainfield, the Heilmans.
For sure. I lived with Troy out in our senior year. We lived together, and then obviously, I know his younger brother Joe, and great family.
Yeah, Joe was a stud in high school too.
For sure. Joe Bags.
I think he lost to obviously Pat Glory in the finals. That wasn't fun, but
is that who he wrestled?
Yeah, he got Tech the year before in the semis, and he lost 7-0 in the finals the year after.
Okay.
And then I think Pat Glory almost got pinned in the quarterfinals. It was a weird tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about like a 25 seed.
Glory's a beast too, man. He's freaking tough.
Glory is hands down the strongest 125 I've ever seen. And like I'm comparing guys like Thomas Gilman too. Like he was Dayton fixed. Like he's 100% stronger than those guys.
Nice. Glory's cool. He was out here and I coach at Los Gatos High School, and he was out here a summer ago doing a camp for us. He was helping train some of our kids. He was good dude. And then, the Heilmans are just, they're like a stand-up family, great people. And watching Troy really came on his senior year when he took fourth. And so, and then of course he would tell me about Southeast Plainfield all the time. And I mean, they had, I think they called it Murderers Row, where it was like Del Vecchio, Heilman, and then Ashnall.
But that was rough for everybody.
Yeah, they're just crushing people. So, I kind of, as far as my Jersey wrestling history goes, it kind of all derived from just talking to Troy. But so I feel like I know a little bit though about Jersey. The only time I've ever been out there was to wrestle at Rutgers, and we wrestled at the Rack, and that was
it probably wasn't too good of an experience back then. But Rutgers wrestling's on the upcoming now. They get sold out pretty much every time now.
It was sold out when we wrestled them. We were both top 15 teams in the country. Wow. UNC and Rutgers, and it was like, dude, Rutgers fans are crazy. They were.
This is like the Scott Del Vecchio era too.
For sure, it was when Del Vecchio was a senior and Heilman was a senior. Yeah. So this was like 2018.
This is like when I think it was 2017 when I was like a freshman in high school. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, my friend took me to a match just like when I just started wrestling. Our coach was like, you got to start watching some stuff. You have a lot of potential and stuff like that. So, I started watching stuff like Rutgers. But then, obviously I found Penn State, and then that's kind of where it happened.
Yeah.
Watching guys like, Bo Nickel, Jimmy Lawson, I think was probably one of my favorite wrestlers.
Okay.
Out there. So, obviously because he's from New Jersey too. And this man was just something else, Obviously, in the least stereotypical way possible. You see a jacked black dude hitting some crazy athletic moves, you're gonna want to watch it.
Who was that?
You see like an insanely jacked black dude hitting some fancy moves. You're gonna want.
Who was the guy though?
Jimmy Lawson.
Jimmy Lawson.
Okay, cool. Heavyweight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any better way to say that. There probably was, but you gotta do it somehow. Yeah, I told him the exact same thing. He just kind of laughed.
Yeah. No, that is funny. Speaking of good Penn State heavyweights, I get to work with McCoy a lot, and he's a beast.
Yeah.
But
Oh, something I think we did not talk about.
what's that?
Did you see the Nick Neville's match, dude?
That was crazy with Carenti.
Yeah.
Is it Mauro Carenti?
Yeah, Mara.
That was nuts. I saw you post something about it, and I went and rewatched. I missed that because it was one of the earlier matches. I missed
I
that.
posted a TikTok on it before my account got banned. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It yeah, that was nuts. He took him down to that lace and then just rolled him up. He was up 2-0 with like 12 seconds left.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I think that's one of the that's just one of the things about freestyle is you get a tight lace on somebody and the match is over.
Especially at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Obviously his comments were like the guy was just rolling with it. I'm like, if Nick Neville locks up a lace on you like that, you're not stopping it. I don't care who you are. You can be Gable Stevenson. That lace is going through right there. It's
For
that
sure.
tight. I think the same thing, people honestly try to say as like giving up, but like you think about it, like you try to flatten out, guy rips the lace all the way over. That's exactly what James Green did to Anthony Ashnault and, kind of just tore his knee right there.
Yeah.
So you're kind of playing with fire. You're trying to defend those too.
Oh, that hurts, dude. It hurts. Somebody gets a good lace on you, and you're just trying to stop it, and you can't really, do anything. That's painful. It sucks. But
so, biggest story, Gabe Dean's back.
Yes, Gabe Dean. I thought he wrestled great against Taylor, and that was a really, I think he was on the takedown to win it right there at the end. Kind of lost that flurry, loses 6-2, but he wrestled fantastic, man.
Yeah, honestly, like I think all the talk is about Zahid obviously making the finals 86. Or Bo Nickel. I have a lot of unpopular opinions that people are gonna hate. I think Miles Martin beats Bo Nickel.
Is Bo gonna cut down to 86?
He already cut down to 86.
Nickel?
Yeah, it's not even a real cut for him. He never cut weight throughout college or anything.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah.
So I'm gonna make a bold call. I don't think Bo Nickel beats Miles Martin ever again here.
Oh, I would disagree.
I have
with that.
Miles Martin. I have too much faith in that dude.
I would pick Bo.
You would? Like I don't think
Yeah.
Bo's style translates that much to
freestyle.
Yeah. Or against these top level guys, to be honest. Like I'll take Zahid over Bo any day. I don't think that's a real question. Zahid's
really
pretty much every matchup before, so.
Huh. That's fair. I think, I like Zahid too. I think Zahid he didn't look like he was in great shape against, Burroughs, but
nobody really does in that match, so,
For sure. He'll, I like Zahid too. I don't know Zahid super well, but he's a California guy, so I always root for him.
St. John Bosco. I think 4-time state champ there too.
3-time.
3-time. Oh, really? I think he was a 4-time Ironman champ.
He was a 4-time. He lost in the final. He lost. Zahid, what was it? The quarters or the semis to Sean Williams of Lemoore High School. Yeah. It was his sophomore year, and then I was actually teammates with Sean out at Oklahoma for a little bit. But yeah, Zahid won 3, Anthony won 3, and they both lost their sophomore year.
Then Kale won.
He hasn't won.
He hasn't won.
He hasn't won yet. Yeah, he lost in the finals last year to Calvary Chapel kid, and that was a match that really surprised me because that Calvary Chapel kid looked phenomenal and kind of dominated him a little bit. That I can't remember his name, but he's going to wrestle at Minnesota.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, man. But since you're from California, we can talk about Josiah Hill for a little bit if you want to.
The Bakersfield heavyweight?
Yeah.
Where's he going to wrestle at in college? ASU?
I think he's wrestling at like some JUCO place, maybe.
Actually, is he going out to Arkansas? Is he going to Little Rock?
Yeah, isn't that JUCO?
No. University of Arkansas, Little Rock's D1.
Really? I've never heard of them before. So
they're new. If you don't know about Little Rock, you should definitely check them out. Little Rock is I actually know a lot about the program. It's a new program in Arkansas that just started, I think about 3 years ago. They're Division I, and the head coach out there is Neil Arisman. And Neil coached me at North Carolina for a little bit. Neil's an Oklahoma State wrestler, and he came out and was coaching with Coleman at UNC, and then he left UNC to go take over the head coaching position at Little Rock when they opened up. And Neil's done a phenomenal job, for a new program. They're getting a lot of guys out there, and they're going to be, competitive. I saw him out at the Pac-12. They're a Pac-12 school, and Neil's just a stand-up dude. Great, world-class family, and he's a great coach and an awesome guy. So I think, yeah, Little Rock should definitely be on the rise in the next couple of years. But that's cool. That is where Josiah. I do remember that now that you mentioned it. So that's cool.
I think he was on one of the earlier episodes. I think maybe episode 10 or something. Follow the page. I just try to get as many state champs or stuff on. Right there.
Nice.
He got a good amount of views. People liked it. But I think the craziest thing about him is he's only been wrestling since his freshman year.
Really, I didn't know that.
He just said he was an overweight, 300-pound kid. Came in. Wrestled JV as a freshman, and then pinned as the number 10 kid in the country as a senior in state finals.
Yep, that what's the Gilroy kid's name?
Nico Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Yeah, dude's a stud too.
Is it Nico Villarreal?
Yep.
Okay, that's funny because Nico was 3 times, because they had another Nico at Gilroy that was a 3-time state champ, and he's the one that Nico went and wrestled at ASU, and then Villarreal. I wonder what he's going to be doing now, because he was committed to go wrestle at Fresno State, and then they dropped, and then I coach right now with Greg, who was the coach at Gilroy before Cormier took over.
Yeah. No, I think that's big. Obviously, a big step up for the program. I don't think it really. I thought that would help. Nico more than anybody could get over the hump and beat Josiah Hill, but getting guys like Khabib in the room, obviously, and with Chase Saldate, elevates his game to a new level. I think it's going to be great coming into college for him. But I think with Fresno State again. AJ Neville is, the old heavyweight at Fresno State, Nick Neville's brother. He did commit to South Dakota State, so I think that's going to be a big one right there.
Oh, AJ's going – and he transferred, right, from Penn State to South Dakota State?
He's from Fresno State to South Dakota State.
Fresno State to South Dakota State. Okay.
There's 4 of them. There's Zach, which is gone, Nick, which is in the Nittany line, Seth, who currently wrestles at Penn State, and then AJ, who just transferred to South Dakota State.
Gotcha. Yeah, they have a ton of brothers.
I think they might have the most California state titles for a family too.
For sure, they're definitely up there. I would say, yeah.
I'm assuming AJ has 2, Seth has 4, Nick has 3, and then Zach has 2. Zach has 1.
Zach had 1. Yeah.
I think AJ has 3, right?
I think so. I haven't kept track. I was more like Zach's era in high school, and then he went and wrestled at Stanford. And I didn't know him super well, but I knew a lot of the Stanford guys that were close with him. Yeah. And he ended up pretty well. He ended up, as a Pac-12 champ. Yeah. And,
is Clovis still the same powerhouse they were back then or not?
Clovis is definitely still tough. It's more been Buchanan, just that Central Valley. I think their league is called track or something, like TRAC, and Clovis East, Clovis North, Clovis, Buchanan are all in the same league tournament. And then I think you get a little bit out of that, and their section tournament has Selma and some other just really, really tough schools. That's probably where if you're talking about the Mecca for California wrestling, it's definitely Central Valley. And yeah, just they always produce hammers. Yeah. Clovis is really good, and it's the same group of brothers. It's the Terrapellis who both coach at Clovis and Buchanan. And I don't know those brothers really well, but I know Alex Terrapelli, who's the one of the assistants at Stanford, really well, and great. Great guys.
I really only know these teams because of one good person. Obviously Selma, you got Richie Figueroa. Buchanan, I don't know. I don't know anybody from Buchanan, if I'm being completely honest right now.
Yeah.
The only video I really remember is Seth Neville. Ooh, this was the match I was talking about. Seth Neville versus Colton Schultz went down at the Doc B. I remember that.
Yep.
Colton Schultz giving Seth Neville his first ever career loss.
Hmm.
It was only 3-2. You know, Neville took a high crotch. Schultz just kind of whipped him over. That was really all it
Gotcha.
was. But then the match I wanted to talk about was Colton Schultz's senior year versus Nico Villarreal, if you saw that one.
I didn't see that one.
No, so you know, obviously a lot of guys could come out firing at Schultz's legs, just hoping to take him down because the big Greco dude.
Uh-huh.
He got an all leg, got up in the air. It was like this, you know. Obviously, Schultz just grabbed her on the head and arm like this, hip to the side. So if he has my right leg, he takes his left leg and steps behind his leg, and then like kind of like back arches over and just sticks him.
Oh wow.
It was like it was just weird. Like I don't even know how to say it. You know, the whole place was just the craziest part is the place was like on their feet, just seeing Colton Schultz's leg in the air.
Uh-huh.
And then
Was
it
that
just
a
went
Doc?
silent for a second.
Was that Doc B?
Yeah, the Doc B finals.
Okay. Wow.
It was on Flow. I tried to find a video to make a highlight of it, but I could not find it, which is kind of a problem. And then, you know, obviously, Matt Stencil sent me a video of him pinning Colton Schultz, and I had to post that. So,
Really?
yeah. It
Nice.
gets kind of awkward when, like, both the guys follow you. You don't really know what to do.
It happens, you know, it's wrestling. You got, you know, I wouldn't take it disrespectful. You could probably find some highlights of somebody pinning me. And if you post that, I wouldn't hold it against you.
I just came to a realization, like, if guys do, so I'm gonna just comment back, then don't lose.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Of course.
The last thing I want to do is come off like an asshole, you know?
Yeah.
I worked for like a year and a half trying to get all these people to follow me. I have like 10 verified accounts. It's just, you know, It's cool to think that like that verified people comment on like my posts and stuff. So,
yep.
Now that I might not have my account back, I don't really know what to think.
Yeah.
You know, I put that on my story. What's the chance that Isaiah Martinez, Curtis Blades, Adam Kuhn are all going to follow me right there? There's not a good chance.
Yeah.
That's just rough. But, you know, hopefully I do. You know, a week's not anything too crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just hope for the best at a point. You know, I'm sad, but
yeah, I think it'll probably work out. You know,
I filed an appeal. Like, I don't know how this happened. Like, it says I gave my password to a third-party site that gives that for followers and likes. Never did that. I'm a broke college, so I don't have enough money for that. But
yeah.
You know, I'm just kind of boring you with this, but you know.
No worries.
Who was the best guy you wrestled in college? That's the thing I want to know.
I wrestled Jaden Cox. Definitely Jaden. I think he beat me in the Southern Scuffle quarterfinals at 197, and he beat me pretty handedly. I think he, beat me. I think he majored me.
That's not too bad.
I mean, I wouldn't have liked to get majored, but
it's Jaden.
It is. Jaden's a beast for sure. I wrestled a lot of those tough guys.
Was this before he made the Olympics or?
No, after he was bronze medalist. Yeah. I think it was his senior year. He was a year older than me. I was a junior. He was a senior. He beat me in the quarters of the scuffle.
Yeah.
And really tough guy, just strong and fat. He's just a really good wrestler, of course. His accolades speak for themselves. But yeah, definitely Jaden was probably the toughest guy I wrestled in college. But I wrestled a ton of those guys, like a bunch of NCAA champs and stuff like that.
Dude, I wish Jaden would have cut to 86, honestly.
I think that is a really intriguing match, though, him versus Snyder, and they've wrestled a lot.
I mean, I don't – to be honest, I don't think that's – with Snyder's performance recently, I think Cox wins that.
I don't know who I'd pick exactly in that, but it does seem like Snyder has had Jaden's number in a way. Going back to, like Fargo, like Kyle beat him in freestyle at Fargo, and he beat him, junior nationals, beat him in the NCAA semifinals. Mm-hmm. He beat him at the U.S. Open. The first time that Kyle, won the U.S. Open, when he beat Varner in the finals, he beat Cox in the semis. And and they are, I do think that Cox has progressed like drastically, and he continues to get better at like at a really alarming rate actually. Like the way he improves is just so impressive. And I don't know though. I think it's one of those things that I wouldn't. I don't know. Nothing would really surprise me with that match. It's just going to be a really good matchup if they end up wrestling.
I always get these comments like, "Oh, you got to support the U.S. more." It's not really that. It's like, obviously I'm aware of all these international guys, so I know how good they are. At the end of the day, us having a gold medalist at 65 is just not possible.
65 kilos?
Yeah. That's just my opinion right there. Obviously our best guys being Zane Rutherford, James Green, maybe Yanni or Jordan Oliver if it happens. It's possible. It's not likely.
I hope it's Jo.
Yeah, no. If they medal or win it, good for them. Like I'm not gonna be mad, obviously. I just don't think it will with the rankings this time.
Yeah.
At 74, we're having a medalist. Whether it's gold, silver, bronze. 86, we're having a medalist. 97 is kind of the spot where I don't know how to feel for the sole fact that, like, no matter who makes it, I think they're fighting for silver. I don't think Sajulayev gets beaten.
I think that's Cox versus Sajulayev matchup's really interesting. Yeah. I do believe that Snyder could beat him again, but I think Sajulayev's really the favorite there.
So when the last time they wrestled, right? The last time when Snyder beat him to win the world championships, right?
For sure.
5. And that was when Sajulayev bumped up an entire weight class.
For sure.
Next time they wrestled,
he
got pinned. Yeah.
Yeah. It was an interesting pin. I would have liked to see the match play out.
I mean, yeah.
Of course.
I don't, like, unless Jaden Cox beats Sajulayev or Snyder beats Sajulayev this year, I don't think he's losing for the rest of his career.
Potentially. Yeah, depending on how long he wrestles.
Guys don't realize, like, again, like he obviously he's probably on something. That just put that out there. A lot of foreign guys are. But he won his first Olympic title at 20 in Rio. Same bracket, Jaden Cox got bronze in, beat the guy in the final 6-1.
Yeah.
If he wins this one at 24, at Tokyo in 21, right? 25, obviously, and then 28 in France, 32 in I don't know where that one is. I think maybe London again, actually.
I have no idea, and I don't know how long. I don't know Sajulayev, or of course, but he, it's also speculative. Like if he could be. I mean, I think right now he's for sure the guy, and he's very hard to beat. And like seeing anybody beat him in the foreseeable future is probably unlikely. I think if anybody has a really good shot to do it, it's probably Cox because they haven't wrestled. Yeah. I do think Snyder could beat him. I don't know, but people, shit happens, right?
Yeah.
He could get hurt. He could, somebody else could come. These Olympic cycles are really long. There's all these things, but Sajulayev for sure right now is, he's like the pound for pound best guy in the world.
Yeah. Again, like as I said, he's number 1 until proven wrong. So.
For sure. Absolutely.
Then I'd take David Taylor number 2, then Jaden Cox number 3 in the world.
You would put David at number 2 right now?
I'm going off his performance internationally. I'm not going off his performance against Gabe Dean, But at the end of the day, like Gabe Dean is not just a random dude coming back into the sport. Like,
no,
he was the best, obviously. Him versus Bo Nickel goes to him 9 out of 10 times. Obviously, like, if they wrestle at the Olympic trials, I don't know if DT can win that match next time.
Yep.
Like, obviously, like, I'm a big fan of Gabe Dean, Like, it would be great to have that. Like, Kyle Dake, if he takes a – I'm picking JB. I want him to make one last run, cap it off with a gold medal. He retires with a fairy tale ending right there.
He said he doesn't want to retire, though.
If he gets a gold medal, I'm 99% sure he's going to retire.
You think so? He's going to go out to that to the Penn RTC.
Yeah, because he's one of those guys, like, I couldn't see him retiring if he doesn't win gold.
Yeah. I think who knows? I mean, the longer Jordan Burroughs wrestles, the
Yeah.
better.
Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest here.
What?
Nobody's went along with this so far except for Don Bradley. But
What do you say?
Isaiah Martinez beats Kyle Dake, makes the finals, and beats Jordan Burroughs.
Whew.
I said that. That's
I
obviously completely biased, but
I wouldn't hate that either. I like Imar a lot. Imar,
he's
California guy, so having him win would be excellent.
Yeah.
And he's coaching out at Oregon State with my buddy Nate Angle, so having him win, dude, I'm all for that.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Isaiah Martinez. I just love the way, people talk about guys' improvements after college. Miles Martin improved drastically. A guy like Colin Moore's improved drastically. And then a guy like Isaiah Martinez, nobody talks about, just because he's in the weight class is all about Dake and JB. When he could definitely, all he has to do.
He has a win over Burroughs.
Yeah, he does. Then people want to discuss, who won the series? Burroughs is an Olympic champ. Isaiah Martinez is a guy just coming out of college. And you want to compare the two, they're on the same caliber. A win's a win right there.
Yep.
Do you know if the tournament to get to the Olympic finals is best of 3? If Imar versus Dake would be best of 3 to get to JB?
No, I think it's 1.
So that's even better. That works in Imar's favor every time.
For sure.
All he needs to do, you get lucky,
Absolutely.
Or maybe his style. Because Imar, being completely honest, doesn't match up the best against Dake with their styles, Dake can get off throw pretty easily. But Imar matches up great with JB. So if he just sneaks past Dake, he could theoretically, if he beats JB in 2, it could happen.
I think that would be hilarious if he beat Dake. Kind of with all the hype that's surrounded,
I've been hyping up Isaiah Martinez for so long. But
I hope he does, for sure.
Dude, honestly, he was probably one of my favorite college wrestlers, Obviously, his career didn't go too well the last 2 years, but it is what it is. But he moved fast, But what I was saying about guys...
Do you like Imar over Burroughs, even though Burroughs is 100%. Even though Burroughs is a New Jersey guy?
See, that's where, I know, obviously Burroughs is from New Jersey. I like Jordan Burroughs over Kyle Dake. I just, really enjoy watching Isaiah Martinez wrestle. I don't know why it is.
No, he's an exciting wrestler. He's very but that's how I feel. If I don't really have a dog in the fight and I don't know the people, on a personal level, I mean, I'll root for, I know Isaiah, a little bit, we were on junior teams together to Fargo and stuff, and Valencia, I don't really know that well, but I'm going to root for them because they're California guys. I'll always, unless I know the other guy personally, I was a college teammate with him or something.
Here's the problem with that, I don't view Burroughs as a Jersey guy. He obviously, I just view him as a
Nebraska
USA wrestler.
Yeah.
Obviously, who else is from New Jersey? Anthony Cassar. He wrestled for Penn State most of his career. I think a couple guys, obviously James Green, guy who wrestles in the NJRTC. If Burroughs came back to NJRTC, you know what? Yeah, but this is why, again, I love a guy like Nate Jackson, a guy who just, hasn't been the greatest coming out of college, but now his game's maturing, If him and Bo Nickel wrestled, I'm picking Nate Jackson. Not just because Nate Jackson's obviously from New Jersey. I actually think he's going to win.
Is he from Jersey? I didn't know that.
He wrestles in Indiana, but he wrestles in NJRTC.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, what I was saying about guys progressing through college, you probably know this better than I do. There's some guys that kind of just stay in the sport to stay in it, and there are other guys that are how some wrestlers have to work full-time jobs and stuff too.
Sure.
That, it's not easy to balance, obviously.
Of course.
Time comes to restraint. And you kind of see halts in their progression to a little bit. So, obviously, these aren't circumstances of that. These guys are, fully sponsored, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Bo Nickel's a guy I don't, again, it's opinion nobody's going to like. Bo Nickel is not going to have great success at the senior level. especially at
would
86. I think 86 is the deepest weight class there.
I mean, I would disagree with that. I think he already has had, he won the U.S. Open. And I think he has had a little bit of success.
Yeah, but who did
I
he
would consider
beat at
that.
the U.S. Open is the real thing. He beat
I
Mike
can't
Machiavello
remember
in the finals.
who.
He beat Mike Machiavello or Hayden Zilmer.
Hey, Machiavelli's tough. I mean,
Yeah,
he beat me.
he is tough.
He is tough. I mean, he's an NCAA champ, and then he
Yeah.
beat him at the World Team Trials. Then he lost to Jaden Cox in Final X Finals, and
It looked to me like
regardless,
Cox was playing that match safe, but that was just me.
for sure, I don't think either of them really opened up, and Bo hit those like left side high crotches and didn't get a lot started. And I think Bo, if he stuck with it long for a long period of time, if he wrestled, maybe for like the next how many quads he wanted to go through, I think eventually he would find success, regardless if he was, ever makes a team or not. I think he'd be a multiple time like national team guy. And I think Bo's just a tremendous wrestler, but,
but here's what I'm saying about that, right?
I don't think he's going to wrestle long enough. What?
You look at the weight class, there's two older guys, obviously, David Taylor's like 28 and then Alex Derringer, Take both those guys out of the equation. Who do you have? Zahid Valencia right there.
I think
has to be
Bo
ranked number one.
With Zahid.
Yeah, but according to prior matches, Zahid has to be number one right now. Miles Martin has to be number two. Bo Nickel, then Alex Derringer has to be 3 and 4. But Ringer's out, so
what if Bo goes up? What if Bo goes up to 92? Is he the number? Sure, but then what about when Jaden Cox is done? That's what I'm saying.
Jaden Cox is not going to be gone. Something people don't realize, which I understand why. Jaden Cox is 1 year older than Bo Nickel, age-wise.
Okay.
Like, he's not going to be gone. I don't see it happening.
Sure. I think it's all, speculative stuff, too. I don't think this quad, do I think Bo makes, like, the team? Probably not. I think he has a chance to, for sure. I think he's in the mix of guys. But he's not going to wrestle long enough, I don't think. I think he's going to jump straight into fighting after this.
Yeah. If he does, he does. But, obviously, a lot of guys are going to do it because, Anthony Cassar found great success on the folk style side of things. And then freestyle, it's kind of a rude awakening for him,
It's just different, people been wrestling folks. Yeah, it's –
like Cassar, obviously, with the injuries,
tough.
And after that match with Don Bradley, it's what it is at that point. It sucks, but, you got to move on at a point. Because Cassar was never making a world team, never making an Olympic team. Just
Dom's tough. Honest. Absolutely.
Yeah, like Cassar is one of my favorite wrestlers, obviously. I think the biggest thing, he never made a state tournament until his senior year, and he won it that year. So that was huge. Yeah, and I really enjoy watching him wrestle. But, again, there's always going to be the guys like Gwizdowski against Anthony Cassar isn't close. Even though he did beat Gable in freestyle, just a different animal take on right there.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting coming. There's a lot. It's all,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Since we are already moving past an hour, I'm not gonna keep you too long. Are you busy soon or?
Me, I'll probably go get some, dinner eventually.
All right.
It's Thanksgiving. I gotta, eventually I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to keep you too long. I realize that.
No worries.
It's like 5:30 for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because it's like 8:30 here.
Gotcha.
So our last question is, RTC Cup is going down. Gable versus Gwizdowski is happening. I have Gwizdowski 5-3. What is your opinion on this match?
I would probably pick Gwizdowski.
Okay.
I think
the reason behind that?
Gwizdowski's beat him in the past. He's kind of been the guy. Who knows? Gable looked great. He kind of blew through Hilger. Beat the streets.
Yeah, Hilger's also, in my opinion, not too much of a freestyle savvy guy yet.
Yeah, fair enough. And he, I don't know. I would pick Gwizdowski too, just based off prior, wins.
Yeah,
but
I think something I've realized is every kid. It's always like the kids who like don't pay attention. that are
Mhm.
always picking Gable, or Minnesota fans. If I was a Minnesota fan, I'm picking Gable Stevenson any day, right?
For sure.
But like, I've talked to a bunch of Division One wrestlers, guys that have Anthony Cassar's beaten Gable, Don Bradley's beaten Gable. They all say Gwizdowski. Obviously Don Bradley's going to pick himself. I think Don Bradley beating Gwizdowski or Gable is definitely possible right there. He's beaten them
For,
both before. If I want anybody to make a fantastic run at the Olympic trials, it's going to be Don Bradley. But obviously Gable. You know who Gerard Trace is?
mhm.
Yeah. So he was actually talking to me. He was explaining the match to me. Gable has weaknesses: left side high crotch, left side single. Gets those. And if a guy as strong as Nick Gwizdowski gets those, it's pretty much 100% finish on Gable Stevenson.
Yeah.
And all he really has to do is be aware of the re-attack game. And if he can form his own re-attacks on Gable, that's going to be deadly right there. And attack the right side also with those.
I agree. I think he would probably win that with those.
And something people don't realize, like, I don't think Gable has the potential to form any part-terre offense there. But Gwizdowski definitely does.
Yeah. I think a lot of people sleep on Gwizdowski's athletic ability too. He's very fast. He's got great hips. He's deceptive. He's definitely deceptive.
Something people don't realize about Gwizdowski is he had a 1-0 match with Tanner Hall.
Oh, did he?
He had a 1-point match with. No, I'm just saying for reference.
I think a lot of people really sleep on Tanner. Tanner's such a good wrestler, and a lot of people really overlook him.
He shouldn't have beat Dom. That was complete BS. I'm sorry.
I do agree with that. I don't think that they should have given up that. I mean, I was watching that when I lost the Dom match before that.
That's messed up. Because I bet on Don Bradley winning that, and then it's just like all went to shit so fast.
I think that a really interesting matchup too is probably somebody like Dom versus what's the Michigan versus Mason.
I don't think Paris wins that. I don't think there's a chance.
Really?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I know, I don't think Mason Paris did like me before, but today I actually realized he followed me back on Instagram, so I don't know how to feel about that.
Huh?
Because like I would always be the guy, say guys are over. Like I'd be straight up give my honest opinion right there. But like I'm be completely honest with you now. I'm not gonna straight up change up just because he followed me back. But he did impress me at that tournament with his win over Tanner Hall with his part-terre offense.
For sure.
However, I think his only shots that are going to be really open are his outside singles against a guy like Don Bradley. That dump is not going to be there. And if
he's not going to double him. Yeah.
If Don Bradley gets one fingertip behind your knee, you're going over to that double. That man is just
he's very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you saw what he did to Trent Hoger.
Who, Dom?
Yeah, he straight up just teched Hoger.
For sure. Did he gut him? I didn't watch the match. I was wrestling.
I think it was just a bunch of re-attack singles and then snap and spins. It was just like it was like a bully match. Like I love Hoger, but like it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. Yeah. I mean, when I wrestled Dom, he was very he's just strong as ever. He holds really good position. You can't kind of get through his like head and hands defense.
He's passive, which is like a thing that's gonna. But he's passive. He'll get aggressive real quick. There, obviously. Then that's why he's gonna turn Mason Paris's game right against himself.
Fair enough.
But
good.
Another guy people really sleep on, Yusuf Amida. Guy's made a lot of strides since college.
Very tough. He just won the U23s.
Yeah. If he beat Tony Cassiope 8-7. He got teched in that match last year.
Yeah, he looked great. He's another guy wrestled out there, and he's very tough.
I hate to be the guy to throw shade, but like, if he didn't wrestle for Maryland, he could have been so much better.
I would disagree with that in the sense that he having McCoy as his coach really helped him probably. Yeah,
but at the end of the day, the training partners are just like, you know what I'm saying?
We'll see how that transpires.
Like,
he's out of Michigan.
Yeah, no, obviously that's gonna be great for him. He gets two ends of the spectrum. He gets to deal with one, in my opinion, the strongest heavyweight in the U.S. right now, in Adam Kuhn.
For sure.
I think he's stronger than him and Gwizdowski might be close now.
Kuhn's got to be. I've never wrestled with Kuhn. I just imagine he
No,
has to
Kuhn
be.
cuts from like 320, dude. Like
He's got to be.
He
He's
squats
huge.
at least 800.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
he's a specimen for
yeah,
sure.
no, he is. Like people want to say like, oh, Guzdas can not. Anybody's probably right now. A lot of people are going to beat him in freestyle matches. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
he's been practicing for one. I'm assuming there's 2 people he needs to beat. I think Kuhn has bronze on lock if he performs good. I don't think it's possible for him to get. Obviously, it's not possible for him to get gold or silver, but those 2 guys are
For
Olympic
what, freestyle or
for
Greco?
Greco.
Yeah.
Because what do you follow Greco at all?
A little bit. I
So
try to.
yeah. So this is something a lot of people just look past. But Majen Lopez Nunez from Cuba has 3 Olympic gold medals.
Yeah. Of course I know
And
who he is.
he's going for his 4th. It'll be the first male wrestler ever, which theoretically would cement his legacy over Alexander Karelin.
For sure. I think if he wins, he's probably one of the best wrestler ever.
Yeah. Again, guys are gonna obviously it's again like the Michael Jordan versus LeBron debate,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not recency bias. I don't know how to really say that, but at the end of the day, I think if him versus Karelin, that's 2 of the physical. That's 2 just. I don't even know. That's like lab made specimens. I don't even know how to explain it.
Who's that? Lopez versus Karelin?
Lopez Nunez versus Karelin.
That is a really intriguing matchup.
Lopez is built like a tank. Karelin was Karelin, they didn't test back then that good. He was
Mm-hmm.
it's publicly known that he was on something.
Sure. That's yeah. That's
I
kind
think
of the
Lopez,
assumption.
he could obviously be on something. A lot of these guys are good at covering drug tests. So that's something a lot of
Sure.
people don't realize. But the U.S. is more strict about this. It's kind of a little bit harder.
For sure. I mean, we've got USADA, so it's constant testing.
Because Dayton Fix got busted too. That might be a big thing.
I did hear about that. So that's.
I'm pretty sure he's back for the Olympic trials. When's the Olympic trials? January, March?
I think April.
April. Okay. Yeah. No, Dayton Fix gonna be back, but I don't know how well it's gonna be. I'm gonna say it right now, Gilman Texley.
I think I don't really have a dog in that fight. I like Gilman too. I think he's been wrestling pretty good. I think that's an interesting match up if he goes and wrestles Spencer Lee right now.
He called him out too.
I saw that. Yeah.
Who do you want to wrestle next? He said Spencer Lee straight up. I was like,
Lee.
Dude, Spencer Lee's not gonna see that. Man hates social media, as far as I know.
Yeah.
He blocked me because I posted a video on the Austin Santo match in high school. I didn't tag him. I took a nap. Somebody tagged him. He's like, haha, I can block this page now.
Yeah.
Spencer Lee texted me back an hour later. He's like, I just did that as a joke. I thought you were just one of those troll pages, but I actually like content, so I'll unblock.
Nice. Huh?
Yeah, so
that's funny.
Yeah. I'll let you start to get going now, man. It's been a while. We had a great chat about some things.
Cool.
I wish you the best of luck at your next card, wherever you wrestle, Wisconsin. Or, we can get you a match with Nick Neville's.
I'm up for that whenever.
We'll let that one happen. All right. But,
yeah.
All right, guys. So this has been episode 40 of Late Night Shots with Danny Chade. Thank you guys for watching. Again, as you know, all the links will be in the description. And, yeah, peace.
Cool.